dull and long hair into hair that shimmers with up to 85% more shine. With light reflecting booster technology.
This is no fairy tale.
Mirror Shine Cashmere Touch. New Elvive Nutrigloss from L'Oréal Paris.
Shine is a power. Seize it. You're worth it.
Whoa! What's that?
Me! New Colgate Microsonic.
You look like an ordinary brush to me.
Not quite. Push this button and I create sonic vibrations for cleaning power that removes up to 2 times more plaque than an ordinary toothbrush.
Sonic power? We're finished!
New Colgate Microsonic removes up to 2 times more plaque.
Party food. Why not try something exotic like shiitake mushroom spring rolls? Hand-tied with a pandan leaf. Or, if you're Chinese, something exotic like mini toad in the owl. Tesco. Every little helps.
Coriander, check. Ginger, garlic, chilies, check. They think poker night's getting a bit stale. I'll put a rocket up the residence group.
We all think food is important, but for TV chef Mike Robinson, his life depends on it.
I've spent a total of nearly 600 grand.
Will Mike build his gastropub in time?
I've got basically 3 weeks.
Hungry for a great story?
It's going to be perfect.
Heaven's Kitchen, tonight at 9, new to UK TV Food.
Safari chef Mike Robinson is relaxing on an island in Lake Victoria now on UK TV Food, where he's baking tilapia in banana leaf. Sounds idyllic.
Par-cook your chips at 180 degrees. Then, when you need them, up the temperature to 190 and finish them off. A tip from Albert Bartlett, provider of Rooster Potatoes, sponsor of the Flavour Zone.
Our safari has travelled to the west of Kenya and we're now staying on an island in Lake Victoria. We visit the local fishing community and buy tilapia, which I bake whole in a banana leaf. Then I make some very spicy Thai fish cakes and fry up some delicious Kenyan whitebait. I'm staying at a fishing lodge on Rusinga Island in Lake Victoria, and this morning I'm off to visit the local fishing village of Kalunga, which is about half an hour's journey in our speedboat. As we get there, the ladies from the village are all crowding around the fishing boats which have just pulled in with their night's catch. The biggest haul is kapenta or whitebait, which is rinsed and packed tightly into basins to take into the village. The villagers are from the Luo tribe, who migrated here from the Sudan in the 15th century, and they're an extremely happy and welcoming people.
Oh, fantastic. That's the tilapia.
Yeah.
Okay, well listen, we've got to take a couple of those home, if we can buy them.
Yeah, we can buy this one.
And these here? These are little perch?
A little perch.
Oh great, well we can do something with those too. And these are the
Kapenta.
kapenta fish. They're just little whitebait. Yummy. I want the whole contents of the bowl.
Mommy, it costs 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
It costs 1,000.
I don't think so.
That's why he's saying that the ball maybe costs a lot of money because it's the one he's using every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Wakaoma.
Okay, let me hold this for you. There you go. Good. I think, yeah, one more handful and we've got enough.
One more hand.
That's enough.
That's
Oh look, by chance I have exactly 200. Amazing. Here we go. So, thank you. Hey. I hope we got a good deal. I've got a funny feeling here.
Well, who cares if I paid too much? It was great fun visiting the village, and I've come away with some splendid tilapia fish and kapenta, which will make great dishes. We're now pulling into the lodge where I'm staying, which is right on the shore of Lake Victoria.
Now this little dish is inspired by something I love to do at home, which are fish cakes. I think they're just fantastic. But we're using tilapia from Lake Victoria here. Just what a place. I tell you, you can't beat this. Now, it's my favourite kitchen. This tilapia has just been baked in the oven, and I've just taken all the flesh off, and it's been baked with some lime juice, so it's nice and fresh and yummy tasting. And there we are, it's in there. It's just a bit of the flesh taken off. Not a vast amount, because I'm not going to make that many. I'm going to make 3 or 4. I've got some potatoes. These have just been sort of boiled to medium and then cooled. And they're nice and starchy, so they'll stick the whole fish cake together. Here we are. So now we're going to take these spuds and we're just going to bung them in with the fish. It's very crude, this dish, because essentially we bung all the ingredients in and then mush it all up with our hands. Nice clean hands that we wash first. Okay, next, in the garden here at Rusinga, there's some fantastic rocket growing. And I've got to tell you, when I was walking around trying all this stuff yesterday, fantastic cook, but it's so strong. So I'm going to shred it really fine. It's peppery, it's really... So I'm just going to really bung up some of this. And I think that pepperiness will go really, really well. I'm going to cut it with some lime juice and some chili and stuff like that. There we go. In that goes. Lovely. Got some garlic. I'm going to take a clove of garlic, because I can't do anything without garlic. There we go. There we are, that'll do. Nice clove of garlic. 1 chilli. Now I've learnt the hard way to respect these chilies. They're in all different colours, they're beautiful, they're absolutely lovely, but my God, are they strong. So, I'm going to peel the seeds out of them, like this. There we are. I'll get rid of the seeds. Some poor bird pecking those is going to have a hard time of it. I'm just going to shred these up really finely. I don't want these to be massively strong, I just want there to be an occasional bite where you think, oh. There we go. In they go. And the nice thing about fish cakes is you can chuck anything in you like. At home you can do this with some fish that isn't massively denuded from our waters, like pollock or something like that, or coley. Any white fish will do beautifully. Just poach it lightly, poach it in some milk. If it's not absolutely fresh, in other words, if it's been frozen or if it's more than sort of, in this case, 2 hours old, then I would poach it in a bit of milk, and that seems to refresh things and make it really delish. Okay, next thing. What am I going to do here? That's right. I'm going to take some lemongrass, lovely, fresh, little, yummy lemongrass from the garden, and it'll add a really nice lemony zinginess to it. And because it's so young and fresh, when you bite into a little piece of lemongrass like this, you won't get a nasty woody bit in your mouth. There we go, in that goes. Okay. Oh, chili's stinging my fingertips. Lovely. That's all going nicely. We're going to add a bit of salt, which is here. Not too much, not too little. There we are. I'm actually not putting any pepper in because of the chili. So don't put pepper in everything just for the sake of it. A lime, can't live without limes. I've fallen in love with the limes here. They are, look at this, look at the juice that comes out of this. You ready? Look at that. Gosh, like 1/4 of a pint out of half a lime. I've never seen anything like it. And if you believe it, these limes have just been picked off the tree and they are warm from the sun. You can just feel the goodness in them. There we go. Now here we have ground coriander, dhania. These are the seeds which have been dried and ground up. And turmeric, bit of Arabic influence. You can go some of both. There we go. And that's really just about that. I'm just going to give it a good mix. So please forgive me, but I have to get my hands dirty here. I'm going to give my hands just another little rinse in this nice soapy water. Things we do. Squish, 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 squish. And the starch from the potatoes comes out and binds it all together. No need for an egg or anything like that. Tell you what you can do, you can put a bit of flour in here. In fact, one thing I'm going to do to make sure that these stick, although they're already absolutely beautiful. There we go. I'm going to get a little pinch of this, and this is the maize flour. It's very white in colour, but maize is effectively corn. It's sweet corn in one variety. And we would call this polenta, although it's not as yellow, it's very white in colour. And all over Africa, this is one of the staple diets, maize meal porridge. And in fact, I'm going to put just a pinch of that in to help bind this. Here we go. Now I'm just going to slide my pan over and get that hot. Last wash. You can see the colour that turmeric has turned my mixture, and you can see it's beautifully dry. Look at this. It's not going anywhere. Okay, here is our ubiquitous maize meal, whose name I've forgotten. I'm going to pour some of that in a bowl. That's heating up nicely. I'm going to get some oil, some corn oil, going in this pan. There we are. Now I could just fry this as it is, and it would be beautiful, it'd be lovely. But much, much better is to roll it in flour. In this case, maize meal, a bit like polenta. It's going to be crunchy and delicious on the outside. So I'm going to take a nice cake-like piece of my, and look at the colour the turmeric's made it go. Okay, here's a nice like fish cake. Yeah, lovely. And just going to give it a good pressing into this maize flour. That's it. It's going to go brown and crispy and completely yummy. So here we go, that should be nice and hot. In it goes. Not quite hot enough yet, but it'll get hot. Do another one. I have to be very patient here because the only problem with gas in the wind is that, you know, the wind blows the gas off a bit. There, that's better. I need to move it up out of a little bit. There we go. Sizzle, sizzle. There's a couple of nice fish cakes in here. Just look at all those lovely birds. Wind's getting up on Lake Victoria. We're going to wait for those to cook. Now my fish cakes, I think, are just about ready. Just going to do the final turn here. Oh, lovely. Look, all crispy, golden. Yeah, perfect. Perfectamundo. Right, jolly good. I'm going to stick them on a plate. See if we can find someone to try them and give me an honest opinion. So, here's my plate. I'm going to just slide these off. Drain the fat off. One. There we go. I'm just going to smarten them up a bit. Take a few chilies are marvellous things for decorating plates. Because whilst I hate the word garnish with a passion, that's exactly what I'm doing to this plate. Just tarting it up a little bit. There we go, marvellous. Let's take some lime. Can't live without me limes. There we go. There we are, tilapia fish cakes on the beach on Lake Victoria.
In part 2, I gather some limes for a whole tilapia that I bake in a banana leaf, and I fry up the kapenta.
Albert Bartlett Rooster Potatoes, sponsor of the Flavour Zone.
They all like to speak their mind. But what are they thinking? Have I got news for you tonight at 10 on UK TV G2.
Without this girl, I wouldn't have survived my brain tumour.
Without these guys, my husband's stomach condition would have been fatal.
Without this man, I would have died from a ruptured spleen.
Do something amazing. Give blood.
Only with Robinsons, the ultimate trip to the fantasy world of Disney and Walden Media's The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Win a magical trip to Lapland with Robinsons and enjoy the sleigh ride of a lifetime. For your very own Narnia adventure, just add Robinsons.
Everybody wants perfect vision. Who wouldn't? Imagine freedom from glasses and contact lenses. Laser eye treatment from Ultralaser has made this possible for thousands of people.
The treatment itself, I can't fault it.
The vision is even better now than it was with glasses. It's brilliant.
Ultralaser offers Wavefront, the superior laser eye treatment for a better quality of vision. For a free DVD and information pack, free phone 08000 08000 or visit ultralaser.com.
I'm so grateful. Really am grateful to Ultralaser.
She surrendered to the seductions of the rainforest and suddenly was taken to a place she had never been before, immersed in ylang ylang, ginger, passion flower. But she was not alone. Dazzled by the sensuous beauty of her hair, he whispered gently in her ear.
Where are my socks?
In the drawer, next to your loincloth.
New Herbal Essences rainforest flowers unbottle your wildest fantasies.
Herbal Essences.
I used to stand guard outside Buckingham Palace. I was proud to serve my country. Then my wife died. My whole world caved in. I had a breakdown. I lost my job. I was evicted from my home.
When I was a nurse, I spent every day caring for other people. But after my husband beat me up, I had to leave. I had nowhere to go. It was only a year ago.
Please call 08000 199 099 and pledge just £3 a month to help homeless people make a fresh start this Christmas.
When I was homeless, I felt totally helpless and lonely, like no one cared. But at Crisis, I found people who did care. They helped me find a permanent home, and they even paid for me to train as a mechanic.
Your gift this Christmas can help Crisis offer people the security of a permanent home. Just £3 a month can help us get people back into work so they can support themselves again. Please pick up the phone and call 08000 199 099 now. Thank you.
With the One account, you can pay off your mortgage early and save money by combining it with your current account.
I always said that one day I'd work for myself, and now I've paid off my mortgage. Here I am.
You can pay more off your mortgage when you want to, and less when you need to.
You can even take a payment break and do something you've always dreamed of.
This is even more amazing than I ever expected it to be. It really is.
You can also borrow extra money at the same rate as your mortgage, as soon as you set up your account.
So you could make some of those home improvements you've always talked about.
I'm so pleased to get rid of that hideous bath.
And it's easy to switch. We'll sort out everything for you straight away, even your direct debits and standing orders.
So whether you'd like to pay off your mortgage early, take that once-in-a-lifetime trip, or even just do up the house, the One account is the ultimate flexible mortgage and can help you make one day today. Call us now on 08456 10 20 80.
Let's do it! You've seen them destroy. You've seen them rebuild. But didn't you ever wonder?
How'd they do that?
Well, you're about to find out. Ty Pennington and his team open the door and show you how they get the job done.
Yeah.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition, how'd they do that? Brand new to MySpace Thursday at 9, only on UK TV Style.
Albert Bartlett, sponsor of the Flavour Zone.
The lodge here on Rissing Island has beautiful landscape gardens down to the lake, but it also has a rather wonderful tropical kitchen garden.
Lovely lime tree, but none of the ones on this one are ripe, so I'm just going to shimmy along and see if I can find some. Aha, does that look more promising? Isn't that pretty? I'm going to take a few because the lovely tilapia fish we got out of the lake this morning. I'm thinking I want to bake it whole. And I'm going to go and grab a couple of banana leaves from around this garden because they're everywhere as well. Yeah, there's literally hundreds of species of birds around here. It's such paradise. I can't tell you what a pleasurable job this is. I'm sitting here, I've got a cloud of egrets eagerly watching me over here, hoping I'm going to throw bits of fish away. There's little yellow jacks, there's Egyptian geese floating around. It's fantastic, it's unbelievable. But I'm cooking fish, not birds. So I've done my tilapia. Now I'm told I'm terribly lucky to get a tilapia because they're not an everyday fish, although there are a lot of them in the lake. Apparently they're quite a long way out. So this morning we managed to negotiate fiercely, and I don't think I did terribly well in the bargain, but I can't speak the language. And I got this beautiful plump fat tilapia, firm as anything, so fresh. I mean, caught maybe 4 hours ago. And I thought, I'm going to do this the simplest possible way. No fancy sauces, no wild ingredients, just simple, simple, simple. Simple as a pimple. First of all, we're going to take our tilapia and we're just going to slash it deeply. There we go. One more for luck. Here we are. Lovely. So, I'm going to bring it over to the banana leaf. These are banana leaves, which I just picked out of the garden earlier on. I'm going to put it at this end of this big plump banana leaf. Okay, banana leaf's cool. Limes. Now these limes, look. Oh, even the leaves of the limes. Oh, it's like kaffir lime leaves, but it's not, but it's very similar. And in fact, I think I might stuff some of these leaves in it. So, let's take our same knife and just juice, lime juice. I'm going to put gallons of, look at how juicy these limes are. Just going to put pints and pints of this lovely lime juice on here. There you go, fabulous limes. I reckon 2 limes on each side. Squirt myself liberally. I'm not kidding, these are like little balloons of lime juice. There we go, that's one side. Turn her over. That's fine, that's enough. And now I'm going to... Right, I'm going to take some slices of the lime and cram them up into the body cavity here. There we go. Really citrus it up from the inside. There we go, that's the body cavity done. I won't shove one in the mouth. I'm going to lay some leaves over it. I'm just going to give my hands a little rinse in my bowl of soapy water here. It's all terribly civilised, this. No roughing it. Just to think that we're standing on an island in the middle of Lake Victoria, almost dead on the equator. It's about 30 degrees, so back home in Britain it's probably blustery and rather miserable. It's 30 degrees, the birds are singing, the sun's out. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to go for a little dip in the lake and think about all you people back home. Right, anyway, stop being nasty and cooking. So, salt. Now remember, these are lake fish, so they're freshwater fish. So I'm going to season it fairly well with salt because there isn't any salt in the water around here. Turn that over, get another little couple of these leaves, sit them on top. More salt. Lovely. Another wash. Right, to cook it, this is the fun bit. I'm going to fold my banana leaf. I don't mind if it doesn't 100% cover it. I'm going to fold my banana leaf over like that and then roll up the sides. I've got my toothpicks here. I'm going to sort of peg it. It's just to protect it while it's in the oven and stop it drying out, as opposed to making a total sort of hermetic seal, which it won't, because as you can see it splits down the sort of fronds. There we go. That's sort of pegged up. Now, my oven is a little different to home ovens. This is it. This is also used as a smoker, in which case we just put some wood chippings under there, but I don't want to smoke this because I don't think the lime and everything will go very well with the smoky flavour. So all I'm going to do, I've got a little rack in there which sits the fish proud. There we go. I'm going to slide my tilapia into my highly advanced Gas Mark 6 oven. To make this work, we have to put a lid on it. So it's on a gas burner. I'm just going to slide this tin lid up against it so it's as tight a seal as I can get. I'll leave my knife up against it to hold it. There we are. Gas Mark 6 for about half an hour, 40 minutes. Ba-ba-da-bum. So I just need a banana leaf to serve my fish on. So while I was cooking, I've just been out. They're quite tough stem, but what you want to find, if you look up here, you can see how the ones that are up in the wind get all split like this. Like you just pull them apart, and they split down there. And that's obviously no good for holding liquid and juice and things. So I spotted a lovely one here. Beautiful banana leaf. Oh, there we go. Aha. Lovely, look at that. Fantastic banana leaf. What a lovely plate. You can put a whole buffet on that. Right, I reckon that my fish should be done. So I'm going to turn this gas off. Pull it out. Ooh, come and have a look in here. Look at that, you can see the way it's, all those lovely juices. The banana leaves protected it, insulated it. Now, somehow I've got to get it out. That's good. I can go there. Stay. Right. Now, let's unpeg it and have a look. Look at that. Look at the white flesh that's been slashed. You can really see how the fish is cooked beautifully. I'm going to transfer this onto my banana leaf, roll it over, lift the bottom off. There we go, take that off, take those off. Final lime over the top. Yummy, yummy. There we are, and off with the lime leaves. And look at this, just look at the way it's cooked. Just stunning. I'm just going to try a little bit, lift it off. And all I can smell is this amazing aroma of ultra fresh fish and lime juice. That is great. No one says so oneself.
The next thing I want to cook is the kapenta, which we saw in the fishing village this morning. The ladies of the village usually rinse them and then spread them out to dry in the sun for cattle feed. But what a waste!
This is what a kapenta looks like. It's a very little silver, tiny fish. It's a Kenyan whitebait. So I'm going to do a whitebait thing. I'm just going to deep fry it with a bit of batter. And I thought, what better for a batter, that's a bit of alliteration there, to use a nice cold brew, all glistening in this nice 30-degree sunshine. Oh, it's certainly good enough. Right, first things first, I've got some oil on, bubbling away, nice and hot. I'm going to make the batter. Now, very, very, very easy batter. All I'm going to do is normal white flour. In there, I'm going to use about half of this flour. I need to save a little bit. She'll find out what for later. In goes the beer. Nothing else, beer and flour. There we go, beer batter. Let's just whisk it in. And what I find happens is the yeast in the beer causes the batter to go beautifully brown and crispy. I don't know how it does it. I'm not a food scientist, but all I know is that it does. And I ought to really leave this batter for a decent while, you know, to sort of bubble, toil and trouble, but I haven't got time for that, so I'm just going to cook it straight away and it'll be fine. It's smooth as silk, no lumps, thick. It'll stick to it, drop them in there, sizzle, sizzle, crispy, crispy, be absolutely yummy. If you want a thinner batter, like this, add a little bit more of the beer and just thin it down a little. And all that'll do is it'll be a lighter batter. It won't be as thick on the whitebait. So I think we'll do that. Great, that's done. So, kapenta. Now, I'm going to take them, it's a bit laborious. I'm just going to dredge them in a little bit of flour. That makes the batter stick to them. And then dunk them in this lovely thing. And then slowly drop them in, and they'll curl up and float to the top. Let's get a few going in here. Just going to bash through a few of these. Right, because I love cheating in every respect, the chef Sylvester has made an absolutely beautiful gazpacho, which is of course going to be fabulous for lunch on a day like this. So I've nicked some. Basically, I went in the kitchen and I just sort of shimmied out with a little bowl of it. Great tip this, because what I want is something to dunk these kapenta in. Gazpacho's there, you know, cucumber, mint, all these sorts of things, peppers. But I'm going to fire it up a bit of chilli. And they're done to a T, those kapenta, so I'd better move it. Some chilli to fire it up a bit. Squeeze a lime, because I can't do anything without lime. And then you have an instant hot salsa. Let's give it a go. Peachy. And I can already, the chili's starting to burn through. So look, I've got a nice little dish here, appropriately with a fishtail on it, made out of local wood. I'm going to fish these kapenta out. There we go. Look at that batter. How crispy is that batter? Look, watch. Boom, do you hear that? It just explodes. That's delicious. Really delicate. Well, I wish you could all be here, you know. It's a really tough old life being a safari chef. See you next time.
Albert Bartlett Rooster Potatoes, sponsor of the Flavour Zone. The Flavour Zone.
We've arrived at Borana, right at the foot of Mount Kenya in central Kenya, where the bush is teeming with ingredients. I cook up some game bird breasts, I go fly fishing for trout. One gets pan-fried with lime and olive oil, and the other stuffed and baked over the coals.
I've arrived here at the airstrip at Liwa Downs. Now this is right in the foothills of Mount Kenya. We came here by a nice twin-engine Cessna plane that took about 10 or 15 people, and now we've downsized a little bit to Mike Dyer here, his plane, which is a little Saratoga, and this is going to take us to Borana, the ranch. So I'm going to hop in, Mike's going to take me there.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
The lodge itself is hand-built out of local materials and has everything for the tired traveller, right down to a cliffside swimming pool. The type that looks as though it's part of the horizon. There are plenty of breezy terraces and peaceful places to sit and admire the scenery. Mealtimes are a good time for the guests to meet the Dyer family. Bimbi Dyer not only runs the lodge, but is a trained chef and has the challenge of providing sophisticated fresh food for her guests, even though we're literally hundreds of miles from the nearest supermarket. They have to grow everything they need here, from the beef to the salads and mange tout peas.
So how organic is this garden?
Their kitchen garden's not just for show, and I need ingredients for later, so Mike's giving me the tour. Bimbi's given me carte blanche to help myself, so I'm going to take her at her word.
Let's see what we've got here. Now these are some beautiful, these are what red oak leaf lettuce is. And they're so fresh. Organic lettuce. Ah, what a treat. So can I pick a couple of these? There's one.
In the basket.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to have a couple of these lovely little green chilies. They can go in there.
Pepper it up.
Pepper it all up, and then we're moving along. Have a couple of those. That's going to be wonderful. Oh, that's absolute heaven. They are so sweet. There we are. Now look, little baby broad beans nestled in these little pods, and they are the sweetest little things. Just salad, nothing else. Don't need to cook them.
It's daybreak, and we're on the edge of the Samangua Valley, looking across the Borana Plains towards Mount Kenya. All is still, but not for long, as I'm out with the Dyer brothers. The Dyers are keen conservationists, so the rule on this shoot is very clear. We're just going to shoot what we need and nothing more.
Now it's about 7:30 in the morning, and we've got a bit of a mission. We've come out this morning a mile or so from the ranch, and we've got to get supper. Now, supper, what are we after?
Yellowneck.
Yellowneck.
Yellowneck, Franklin. Flies a bit like a partridge.
And there's a lot of them all around. And we're just after half a dozen for the pot for this evening for the guests. And we know there's a few just up here in the long grass. So Mike and I are just going to wander up here, spread out a little bit. You've got to do this on foot. Push through the bush, push the birds up, and hopefully there's our supper.
If you can hit it.
If you can hit it.
Okay.
Okay, we're moving on. Got it.
Oh, good shot.
Oh, one down. Finally. They're so fast. It's just, and you've just got to sort of snap shoot them. And I can't wait and they're just the best flavoured. They're a wild game bird that's been feeding on all the seeds and the herbs and the nuts. It's just, we just got to find it. Here we go, Mike. There we are.
Nice. Very good, Mike.
So this is a yellowneck.
Yellowneck.
It's like a pheasant
Mhm.
in the way it is, you know, and it's sort of...
Without the tail.
Without the tail, yeah. Taste as good?
Delicious.
Well, we've got 4 of these, which I think is a pretty fair morning's work. It's so much fun cooking stuff that you have no idea what it tastes like, how to cook it. We're just going to have to make it all up and, you know, really play around.
Be inventive.
Be inventive. Well, that's
Great.
been a brilliant morning.
Excellent.
Better get back to the lodge.
Okay, Mike.
Okay.
Back at the lodge, I've decided that in this sort of setting, there's really only one place to do the cooking. And I've managed to persuade my host, Bimby Dyer, who's a professionally trained chef, to be my sous chef. After much discussion, we've decided what to do with this pile of game birds. We're going to take this gorgeous pawpaw. Pawpaw is very famous for tenderising meat. We're going to take the yellowneck, which is the biggest breasted bird, which is this one here. I am just going to take a slice down in the centre of it, like this. Open it up, and we're going to take some slivers of pawpaw.
Right, 2 of those.
That's right. I'm going to just chop this one in 2. Stay them in the middle. This is going to have a lovely, sweet, sort of slightly oriental, I don't know, it's going to be really delicious. Very coastal, very Arabic influences, I think.
It is.
Which is very Kenya.
African.
African,
yes.
very African. Okay, next, we've got a real treat. Now, Bimby was showing me her garden. This is what ginger looks like when it's fresh. Stalk and all. Now, to prepare that, all I think we're going to do, do you want to do that?
I can chop
Just
that
take
up.
it off and peel it.
Yep.
That's lovely. And I'm going to take one of these lovely limes, take some nice little slivers off it, there we are, and insert those into our little parcel. We put a little sprinkling of pepper on it. That's lovely, and I think we'll just pull that over like that. Let's just skewer through it. When we come to cook it, we'll rub it in a little olive oil.
Yep.
On the
sizzle
sear
it.
it on either side on that barbecue.
Yes.
Okay, Bella. How do you say very good in Swahili?
Masuri sana.
Masuri sana.
Yep.
There we go. That's Masuri sana for you and me. Right, quick glug.
A quick glug. Cheers.
Cheers. How do you say cheers?
Karibu.
Karibu. Moving swiftly on. Now, we've got these little partridges, and they're going to be incredibly sweet and delicious.
Yum.
Really simple again, because it's going to go on the barbecue.
Yeah.
What did we think? We thought, let's bash it.
Bash it open a bit.
It's rather
A
big.
bit of...
Hang on, just excuse the violence here. We're going to just want to...
That's it.
There we go.
That's all it needs.
That's all it needs. It tenderises a little bit
Yeah.
too and breaks up the fibres. We've got a real treat. Bimby was showing me a kitchen earlier, and she's got these, which are her homegrown tomatoes, which are sun-dried here outside in this gorgeous African sun. I think we whack a couple of those on there. And then, a bit like a saltimbocca, I've got here some also home-cured bacon. Lovely, strong...
Streaky?
Streaky, smoky as
yeah,
anything.
Smoky.
Oh, it's fantastic flavours. And let's just give this a little... Do you want to do a bit of a
A
wrapping
bit of
job?
wrapper job, absolutely.
Wonderful. And I'll do the other one while we do that.
A nice long one.
Paradise this, isn't it? Cooking outdoors. Okay, now, for this last one, we thought let's be completely different. So rather than wrapping it, stuffing it, what we're going to do is we're just going to chop these up into sort of, I think maybe sort of strips like that. And let's bung them in a bowl. I'll bring the bowl forward. Lovely. Take that, throw them in. And
there we
let's
are.
marinate this up. Let's do you want to chop a couple of chilies?
Bit of chilies, yes.
I'll get some pepper going in here. There you go. It's going to be quite spicy, this. Some shallot.
This is lovely. just
Let's put a little bit more of this ginger in. Yeah, maybe a squeeze of lime.
Squeeze of lime.
A big squeeze of lime.
Oh, pip and all doesn't
Pip
matter.
and all. This, because it's going to be... Well, let's not spoil the surprise. Here we
Oh,
are.
it's going to be delicious. There's no surprise about that.
Now, I think the magic ingredient for this is coconut milk.
Magic ingredient.
I think this is going to be great. So we've just got some coconut milk. Pour a little bit, not too much, so we don't want it
Yeah.
swimming. We'll give it a little stir. Now,
That would be
I
nice
think
with ginger.
normally I'd probably leave that to marinate for an hour or two in the fridge because all the flavours will soak in. But
yeah.
Let's just do it now. What the hell? We'll pretend it's been marinating for ages. So, can I give you a skewer?
Oh,
Bimby?
yes, I have, yes.
There you go. And we're just going to start skewering them up. Because what we thought with these is we can skewer them up and do them like great big long wild game bird sautés on the barbecue. And that will have a gorgeous flavour. You know, while we're cooking them, we can squeeze some lime over them. We can even throw a little bit more chilli on, whatever we feel like, really. I'm just going to keep firing this one up. Partridge with coconut, ginger, chilli, lime.
Very special.
Very special. There we go. And I think that's enough. So, we've got our 3 game birds. We've got yellowneck with mango and ginger. We've got the partridge with sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes.
The lovely home-cured
bit of bacon.
And this one. Fantastic. I reckon those 3 are going to go down a storm. We're going to take them over, bung them on the barbie. Well done.
Oh,
I
yes.
think we should
Cheers.
taste
Let's
ourselves.
drink to
Here's
that.
to us.
Yes.
These are ready to turn. These ones were not turning, and this one will be ready to turn in a few seconds. All I'm going to do is take a little olive oil, and if I can without completely frying my hand, just give them a little dribble, so when we turn them over, they won't stick. Okay, here we go. Let's hope. Oh, look at that. Ah, che bella. Great tip at home. If you've got some really, nice cut of meat, like a shin of beef, but it's pretty tough. If you put some pieces of pawpaw in there, and you can get pawpaw in every supermarket in Britain.
Yeah, you can, I gather now.
When you marinate it, you can take it out to cook, but it will tenderize that meat so that you can cut it with a spoon. Good tip, hot tip. Now, people say that you've got to hang game birds
And
for
really,
quite long periods of time.
we didn't hang it that long today, and they're so tender. This is just absolutely melts in your
Same
mouth.
with this, it's just falling apart. And I think the secret is cook it fast,
Yes,
cook it hot, then take it off and just let it rest for a minute. And that
I
is
think so.
African paradise.
In part 2, I pan fry some trout I've caught with some lime and olive oil. Then I stuff an even bigger trout, which I barbecue over charcoal for our evening meal. Mike and his brother Fuzz are driving me over to their ranch for a spot of fishing. The farm is where they keep their ponies, and it feels rather like we're in Hampshire. There's a beautiful lake by the farm which is stuffed with rainbow trout, which tastes sublime.
Now we're fly fishing on this little lake, so we're not using weights, things like that. It's a very elegant form of the sport. It's very pretty, it's very simple. All we're using is a heavy line. The weight of the line itself takes the fly out. It has a long piece of nylon at the end with a fly on the end, and the fly is a little collection of nylon fibres spun around a hook with some glitzy silvery stuff in it. Now black's a very, very good colour for catching trout. Works a treat. Someone's already caught one of these today, so we're going to give it a go. Cold, beautiful water, some lovely trout. One's already been caught. I'm endeavouring to hold my end up and catch one for supper, because we don't catch, we don't eat. This is Safari Chef. Here we go. Now this is a really, really good trout. This is a big trout. This is at least 2 pounds. Well done. Now that is a fantastic rainbow trout. Look at the colours, look at the fin. That is about as good as a rainbow trout gets.
Hello, Mike.
Right, got a nice sharp knife here. For the filleting, all I'm going to do is go down behind its head here like this. Okay, I'm going to cut down like this along the backbone. So we're just going to cut like that, deep as we can. Lift him up. There we go. And fillet one. Lovely trout fillet. Okay, I've just got to clean this fish off, clean my knife, give my hands a wash. It's a lovely, ultra clean, very cold mountain spring here. Beautiful running water, no bugs, it's going to be lovely. Right, this isn't going to be a main course, it's going to be an appetizer, but it's going to be absolutely delicious. Sun's off, so time to lose the hat. Okay, we've got a few local ingredients here that Bimbi back at Burana, she gave me to bring along on this little trip. I've got some lovely herbs, I've got some very, very young celery here, which should be lovely. I've got some gorgeous limes grown in the garden, the trout fillets, of course, some olive oil and some salt and pepper, so you can make a really, really simple little dish. First of all, I'm just going to get some olive oil going on here, and that should, yeah, that's nice and hot. It's getting all runny straight away. Lovely. Da, da, da. Just going to try and get this nice and even. Dum, da, da. There we go, lovely. Oil's in the middle of the pan, which means it's nice and balanced. Now, very simply, I'm going to take my 2 fillets, which are just here, and we're going to season them. So I'm going to get some salt and pepper going. And we're going to sizzle them. So you're going to drop them in, flesh side down. Oh yeah, this is fried fish with a difference. There we go. Beautiful colour of these rainbow trout. It's going to simmer away in that olive oil. Now, to that, we're going to cut a lime. We're going to squeeze a lime in here. It'll spit, I hope. It's a lovely seasoning. Right, now before I chop the rest of these up, because I've handled a couple of different things, I just got these marvellous sort of antibacterial wipes. And when you're out in the bush like this cooking, they really, really help to keep your hands clean. You know you're not going to poison anyone. So I've got my celery. I'm just going to do some lovely little fine celery. We'll flavour that trout. There we go. I'm going to sprinkle that in there. That's lovely. Now I'm going to see what I've got in my little goodie bag of herbs. Ooh, perfect. Got a bit of lovely garden dill. Why not? Let's sprinkle some of that in. It's developing a little bit of a Swedish feel. Now, I'm not going to use rosemary. I'm going to put that when we smoke the fish. Just going to put a couple of leaves of tarragon on there. A little more seasoning. And I'm of a mind to actually not turn this fish over. I don't want it to break up. I just want it to simmer beautifully in this lovely lime and olive oil and celery thing. So we're just going to test that. Now, believe it or not, that fish is about 30 seconds away from being cooked. Lovely. I'm going to take some of these celery heads and just run a knife coarsely through them. We'll sprinkle these over the fish when it's cooked. I'm going to turn this at the very, very last minute before I bring it to the table. Not to cook it, just to present it. There we go. Another lime. It's going to go over it again at the last minute. Okay, we're going to try and turn this now, very gently. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. A little more dill. That's it. Salt and pepper on the other side. Okay, now finally I think a squeeze of lime. And some of these pieces of celery over the top to season it. Maybe just a little drop of lovely olive oil over the fish. I reckon that's just about ready for an appetizer. Glass of wine, lovely little piece of trout caught 5 minutes ago. What more could you want? This is sunset cooking on the plains of Kenya. Bimbi and I got this trout. Now, I caught this trout myself, so I'm quite proud of it.
It is a beauty.
Although on your land, so it's your trout. Very simple. We thought what we'd do, it's a beautiful fish. I've just got to show you this fish. It's very rare to see a rainbow trout in a lake that has a perfect tail and a perfect fin. Absolutely perfect. This is a wild fish. It probably bred in the lake where we caught it. You couldn't ask for better. It's firm, it's lovely. What we thought we'd do is we're going to stuff this with some of Bimbi's gorgeous sun-dried tomatoes. So would you chop a few of those up?
Do that.
Great. We're also going to put in I've got a ginger stalk. Now that's ginger, that's real ginger. This is how it grows. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the root where the flavour is, all the real sort of strength, which is quite gorgeous. In fact, I can nibble a bit off and it's sweet. It's not like big old gnarly ginger, it's really top stuff. And all I'm going to do with that is just trim that and trim the end off. Whoop, off it goes. And I think what I'm going to do is just smack the back of this with the back of a knife. A bit like lemongrass. Just what you do with lemongrass, only we're using ginger stalk. Because often in herbs and things like that, and vegetables, a lot of the flavour, oh yeah, is in the stalk. So
Did you try a bit, Mike?
yeah,
Did you?
delicious. I'm just going, I'll trim that bit I've just touched off. There we go, but it's delicious. And in it goes along the backbone of the fish. So that's the bed for our sort of stuffing there. It's going to sit nicely in there.
Now, is that enough, Mike? Do you
Oh, I
or
think
do
that's
you
lovely
do
because
that?
we're just flavouring the fish. Gorgeous.
Okay.
And we're going to put some of these shallots, beautifully flavoured, all the way along the inside. Homegrown limes. This is amazing. When do you get to cook? Everything you do here is cooked and is produced from this land. I mean, I've never been anywhere where you can cook with products that come within minutes sometimes from the tree or from the ground to cook dishes. It's paradise. It's a cook's paradise.
It is, but you have to be self-sufficient, so you have to grow it all yourself.
Yeah, well, I think it's amazing.
Get it going. Did
Let's
we put
just-
a bit of pepper?
Yeah, let's do a bit in the middle and a bit over the actual skin.
Okay.
Like that.
And then wrapped in tin foil?
I think wrapped in tin foil, and it's going to go straight, wrapped in tin foil, just straight onto the griddle of the barbecue. And it won't burn, but the skin will go all crispy, all those flavours in the belly there, infused throughout the fish. And then we're just going to either cut it into chunks like steaks, you know, like salmon steaks. So I thought we might do, rather than just take the fillets off and be dull, is take a nice knife and just go straight through, bang, 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 and take nice big tranches, big steaks. And I think we're going to be popular. Have we got the foil? Yeah,
Yep.
brilliant. If you pull out the foil, I'll lift up the fish. That's lovely, great. It's just, I'm not too worried about the tail sticking out.
No, that'll crisp off anyway.
Oh, we don't want to cover it in so much foil that there's no sort of crispiness to the skin, and it doesn't, you know, we want it all crispy and caramelised and yummy. You know, not all steamed and soggy.
So
and
good.
rock and roll.
Yeah. Oh, cheers.
Sundowners.
Sundowners, that's what they're all about.
Now we're just going to bung this on 10 minutes either side. It's got all that lovely stuff in the middle. It's got masses of lime stuff down its gullet. It's going to marinate from the inside. It's going to be absolutely yummy, but there's only so much I can talk about a trout, so on it goes. There we go. Now this was my pride and joy,
I think this worked out so well.
my trout. Do you know, I've never served a trout just cut in steaks like that before. And it's cooked a treat. It only cooked in like 15 minutes.
It really did, actually. That fire was just perfect for it. I don't know whether I can spend
so
as long
chuffed.
as you did fishing for it.
Well, patience, you see. Patience. Cooking is like Zen. You know, you have to be patient. Anyway, Mimi,
It comes
what a
from-
pleasure.
No, it's cheers, Mike. Thank you.
Another great time. Oh.
Hugh Fernley Whittingstall will be barging into people's homes and finding out what they get up to in the kitchen. TV Dinners is at noon. But before that, Tamazin Day-Lewis is next.
Albert Bartlett, sponsor of the Flavour Zone.
Tis the season to be jolly, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la. Hear the beat come train the barrel, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la. It's Christmas carol, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la. See the flowing voices chorus, fa-la-la-la, fa-la-la-la.
Way, it's like all your Christmases have come at once.